I predicted the Titans would win 21-20, would defeat the Colts in a close, entertaining game, 28-21, 3 Tannehill throwing touchdowns. The Derrick Henry run for 68 yards exactly, 1 Derrick Henry running touchdown, and the 3 Tannehill throwing touchdowns, and the Titans would win the turnover battle. Now, obviously, I was greatly proven wrong because Tannehill threw for 1 touchdown, 1 Tannehill throwing touchdown, not 3 Tannehill throwing touchdowns. Derrick Henry ran for more than 100 yards, except he had 0 running touchdowns. So I was very happy they ended up running for more than 100 yards, except I was still extremely depressed, also because Titans still lost the Titans still lost this game 34-17, and they got outplayed by the Colts completely in the second half, which is the main reason why they lost 34-17. And also, the Titans did not win the turnover battle. Colts won the turnover battle 1-0 because Tannehill threw 1 interception, and Rivers, there was no fumbles by the Colts offense. There was no interceptions thrown by Phillip Rivers. And so I was wrong about that. I was wrong about the Titans winning 28-21 because the Colts ended up winning this game 34-17. And this was an extremely depressing game, mainly because the Titans did play an effective first half and were leading 17-13. And I know the Titans were getting the benefits of the Colts self-destructing with penalties, except that was not the only reason why the Titans were winning 17-13. They were moving the football. They were playing effective for offense, and they were effective for both offense and defense. So it wasn't like the only reason the Titans are leading this game is because the Colts continued to self-destruct with penalties. The Titans were playing effectively on both offense and defense. So it was extremely frustrating that the Titans wasted that entire first half because they could not play a good second half or a great second half at all because they got outplayed completely by the Colts in the second half, which is why they ended up losing 34-17. It's hugely proven wrong. This game just went from bad to worse in the second half because the bad starting with there was that really terrible punt, short distance by the Titans, and the Colts greatly benefit with a short field, able to move the football, score a touchdown. They take the lead 20-13. There's the bad start. There is the bad, including it started with that terrible punt. And then going from worse because the Colts forced the Titans to have to punt. A Colt defender on special teams is able to block the punt. Colt defender is also able to recover the football, move into the ends, recover the football, and move a short distance into the end zone for the Colts to make the game, to increase that lead, making it go from, this is where it becomes, having just gone from being bad, now it just went to worse after that blocked punt, a Colt defender recovering the football and going into the end zone for a touchdown to increase the lead. Is becoming the worse. And then the Colts continue to move the football, eat up the clock. Jacoby Brissett he doesn't just run for the first down on 4th and 1. He runs into the end zone to put this game out of reach, put that nail in the coffin, adding to the worse. And Colts are up by, and they also make the extra points, and now the Colts are up by 17. So that was extremely depressing, along with that was just like the nail in the coffin. So that was extremely frustrating that Titans able to get a stop on first down, second down, third down, force a 4th and 1, it's either 4th and 1 or 4th and inches, and then Jacoby Brissett doesn't just get a first down, isn't able to just move over the line to get a first down, also able to move into the end zone to put the game out of reach. And the Colts are up by 17 points, and after that, I had pretty much, it just removed I was optimistic that the Titans were going to get a stop able to move the football, I was optimistic they were able to get a stop and then move the football, score a needed touchdown, extra point, and possibly either get this game into overtime or use a game-winning drive. But except that just completely got removed after the Colts scored a touchdown to put the game highly out of reach because of how late it was in the fourth quarter. So that was just extremely depressing. Colts hugely proved me wrong, end up winning this game 34-17 in the half of where it went from bad to worse. And this is one of those games where I would have been hugely less depressed if I didn't watch most of the second half, because the Titans, they were able to get stops before it went from bad to worse. They were showing some signs of life, including getting a stop on first down, second down, third down, like in fourth down before that terrible punt, except then after the terrible punt, it just went from bad to worse. So it was just extreme. If I didn't watch this entire second half, I would have been extremely less depressed, because I would have seen from information after looking on ESPN or NFL on ESPN that the Titans did lose by 17, but I'm not going to watch those highlights just because the Titans lost. I don't want to be looking at watching these highlights. If my team loses, I'm not going to watch the highlights because it's just going to show me stuff that I'm going to want to forget, and just reminds me of something depressing that I just don't want to watch. So I would have been less depressed if I didn't watch most of the second half, just for the fact that I would have been less depressed. Except I did watch most of the second half and was extremely depressed because it just went from bad to worse. And it was just an extremely frustrating loss, even though it's only one game. It was extremely, because this was against the Colts. This was a chance to put even more distance ahead of the Colts. Instead, now the Colts have taken a first-place lead because they own the tiebreaker against the Titans. So that was extremely frustrating that now the Colts own that tiebreaker. And that the Titans ended up losing to the Colts on Thursday Night Football 34-17. And I'm still optimistic after this that the Titans are still going to be able to win the AFC South. They're still going to get double-digit wins, even if not 11, then still 10. And, I'm still optimistic because this is a Titans team that is better than that trash, that complete freaking embarrassment they showed in the second half versus the Colts on a Thursday Night Football. I'm optimistic they're still going to have a winning record in the second half. I'm optimistic they're still going to win double digits. We'll still have double-digit wins finally in a regular season for the first time since 2008. And I'm still optimistic that they're finally going to win the AFC South for the first time since 2008, even after this extremely disappointing loss to the Colts 34-17 on Thursday Night Football. The Titans have a high wall to climb to get to 10 wins or 11 wins. I'm still optimistic they can do that because they're better than what they showed in that second half, in that complete, huge, colossal meltdown in the second half versus the Colts on a Thursday Night Football game. So it's going to be a very interesting second half mainly involving the Titans and Colts in the 2020 NFL season, to see which team wins that, what is a two teams race for the AFC South.